Turn your radio up. Louder. Louder. Just a little bit louder. Because the next hour, you're going to be tuned in to Donnie Jones Live with Donnie Jones and Mardy Ringer. Hey, can we just stick with Mardy? Because like that Mardy ring, it don't have that ring to it, you know? I'm just saying. And Mardy, with your hosts Donnie Jones and Mardy, sponsored by Don's Tree Service, is Donnie Jones Live, right here, right now, right now. Donnie Jones Live.
Hello. Welcome to Donnie Jones Live. I am your host, Donnie Jones, hanging out with...
That super fly Mardy Ma. Oh, no, sorry. No, Mardy Ringer, what's going on? How you doing today, Miss Donnie?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I am percolating. Can't complain.
Can't complain.
It's
Now,
a good thing.
I usually ask you how your weekend, but now I'm starting to get scared of that.
No, we just going to go past that one this week. We just going to go past. No, that ain't
what it
nothing.
is I need to start remembering what I do on the weekend, but I live a boring life, so, you know.
But you do everything. I'm saying you always working.
That is true.
You always flipping chicken on the weekend. You know, I ain't mad. She making that money. You know, cutting down trees. I'm saying she go to church and come out and climb a tree. That is crazy. But I ain't mad. Make that money. Because I like coming to this radio station. So please, y'all, you know, support our sponsors. You know, even though we got one. You know, support her. You know, please. She'll come to your house.
Marty, we got more than one sponsor.
I'm just saying.
That means
if y'all got twigs, she'll come cut down twigs.
No, but seriously, Marty, I do work a lot because I love working for y'all. I love making a difference. I love making money too.
Yeah,
but you know what? We've got a great show for you today. We have Cint Gilstrap. She is a prophetess. She's a minister. But most importantly, she's a woman of God. She's a survivor and an overcomer. Yes. And I am so excited to share her story.
Yeah. And she's beautiful. Just want to let y'all know. That's why I dressed up today. Usually I just come as I am, but no, she was coming.
Now I'm picking up on it.
Yeah,
you
just
combed your hair.
Put on his Sunday best.
Right, I put on my Sunday best and brushed most of my teeth. You know, I was trying to impress. You know,
we got a man of God.
How about that?
And a woman of God up in here looking good.
Hey, we just trying to do our thing.
That's what we're doing.
Right.
Now y'all start laying hands on each other.
Well, if we start laying hands, y'all gonna have to leave. I'm just saying. I'm just calling it as it is. We just gonna.
Oh my goodness.
She got on her Holy Ghost leather today
yes,
too.
She does. Yes, she does.
But Miss Gilchrist, what's going on with you now?
It's so many things that are going on. One thing that I don't know where I want to start because there's so much that needs to be said. But one thing is politics.
Oh, my
politics.
goodness.
Just off the gun, you're going to start right there. You're just going to start right there.
Y'all know how
you couldn't even talk about your ministry. You can't talk about your calling, prayer list, or anything.
But that is.
You're just going to go straight
I had to
there.
tell somebody the other day that in order for me to walk in the prophetic, you have to be able to operate deal with the political aspects of the world.
That's right.
You have to deal with, different
That's right.
demographics. You have to deal with geographical locations. There's so many aspects. I'm just not just the word carrier alone, but you have to learn how to cause all things.
And
the Bible says all things work together for good.
Come on now.
So in order for everything to work together, you just can't be one direction.
That's right.
You got to be full circle. So, but the political things that are going on right now, it has this country divided. But more so than anything, it has the church divided.
That's right.
And
that's right.
so that's why I brought that up.
But can I tell you what I think?
Absolutely.
I think the church has been divided and it's magnified.
It's always been divided, right?
That's true.
You got smart Christians and stupid Christians. It's always been like that. You got them on both sides every time you go there, and you know that. And I'm just being truthful. You walk in and you just born again stupid, son. That's all it is. You just born again stupid. That's not a pathetic word. That's a pathetic. That is no kind of good. Right.
It's a pathetic
word. Right. Just stop preaching. God didn't give you that. But
there are some people that
it's always been divided though.
Walking in the pathetic. There you go.
Yeah, it's like never before. So that's why I kind of threw that out there first because it's
that's
ridiculous.
a good place to start.
Like really.
So talk to us about that.
It's crazy. Now you see the pastoral of the leadership that are now more so divided than ever before. And just like Marty said, we've been divided just based on denominations. But
I
now
said that, but that's Okay.
Yeah. But
denomination, even inside of the denomination, you got people divided.
It's ridiculous at this point now because now you have confrontations going on from the pulpit. You got confrontations going on from the background. You know, it's just it's messed up.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you can't even sugarcoat it.
Right. Well,
because
I
it's
think
so
the
obvious.
beauty of it is that we can't sugarcoat
No,
it
you
anymore.
can't.
We got to talk about it. We got to get it out. You
It's
know what?
forcing you to.
We're gonna go here, I think, on our next segment. But one of the things that used to bother me in our house growing up, because there was a lot of abuse there, is that my dad used to always say, "What happens in this house, stays in this house."
Absolutely.
And that's what's happening in the church right now.
Yeah.
And it's crippling it. It's stopping it from growth. It's stopping from being effective.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's got to shift. And I think you're part of that shift.
Amen.
You know?
Amen.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I battle a lot is that I'm too outspoken or I'm too vocal
you gotta
or
be
I'm
like
too
that, though.
aggressive
You
or
need to be.
assertive.
Right.
And I don't have a choice. And this, you know, people a lot of times, and you hear me because I'm so passionate about it, they don't want to tell the truth.
Right.
But it's now the truth that has to be told.
Right.
You can't continue to sweep this under the rug.
No,
just like you
not
said,
at all.
you can't continue to hold this. We need
Right.
to, if you want to draw souls, it's going to take the truth.
Let's be
Right.
specific.
Yeah.
Talk to them right now.
It's-
What do we need to do? Let's keep it 100. Specifically, politically, what do we need to stop playing with right now? What do you want to talk about?
We need to stop playing with the lies.
Yeah.
We need to stop playing with what's going on in the closet. Let's bring it out the closet.
Let's get it out the closet.
Let's get it out the closet. Abuse is in the church.
All day long.
You know, we deal with homosexuality because it's part of the world.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you can't condemn me because I'm homosexual, but then you fornicate or you commit an adultery.
Right.
Right.
Sin is sin.
Right.
So
Sin
if
is
you're going to
sin,
condemn one aspect, then you need to talk about it full circle.
Right.
What about the people that have been molested and abused in church by the
church.
deacons, by the pastors,
Yeah.
by women in church?
Right.
I know I have spiritual daughters now that I'm helping them rehabilitate from women that have taken advantage of them from the age of 19 on up.
A pedophile is a pedophile.
It doesn't have a face.
Right.
It doesn't have a color.
Right.
It doesn't have a religion.
Right.
It's who that person is.
Right.
It's the spirit of the individual.
Right.
So
Yeah.
now we're at a point in time where we have to bring these things to the forefront.
Right.
We
You know-
got to keep it real.
And I'll be honest with you too. A big thing in the church, I believe, some people just need to die. You know, I'm just.
I mean, but no, we talked about
but
this.
you know what?
I'm sorry,
There is
they just need to. I'm
we
saying
have to agree
they just
as
been
a community.
sitting there and they will not get out the way. They
just gotta
don't
die.
want no movement,
die off.
and their way of theology and what they've always saw the church being, that's what they always wanted to be. And it's like, you just need to die. Can I give you some flowers?
But and you know what?
I just want to give them the flowers now and just, I'm going to pray for you. Just die.
You know what
Just
you
die.
realize? That people are, they
But
literally
they
sitting
dead
down.
already.
That's
They're
what I'm getting ready
right.
to say.
Dead
They're
already.
dead
Dead
already. You're
Yeah.
taking up space. We
Yeah.
need this available space for somebody who really want and desires something.
That's
in
right.
The church.
Get your
That's right.
unholy self out. I will build you a casket myself. They just need to die.
I'm
You
done.
know, you
I'm
keep
so
your tithes, keep your tithes. Your family gonna need that for your burial.
They-
You need
and
to
you know
die.
they gonna need it for the borough because they ain't
Right.
playing. They ain't
You
done
need-
nothing.
you
they
need to.
ain't playing. They ain't got an
Right.
insurance
I'm saying,
policy.
No insurance
Because I'm
at
serious.
all.
I fussed at my congregation not too long ago because, and this is church, they love to fuss and complain about everything. You know,
Everything.
it's like, okay,
Everything.
I only had a little lady playing the keyboard, and they
Right.
got mad. We need more music, so I got a full band. Now, it's too loud in here. We don't
Right.
need all that, you know. Then I had a girl who couldn't
And
sing.
who paying for this?
Right, and then I had a girl that was too holy and religious. So she, kata shot and everything. It was like, she prays too much. Can you get rid of her?
Right.
And it's like, y'all don't know what y'all want. You know,
Right,
and y'all,
right.
and y'all are here for the wrong reason sometimes.
Exactly.
That's
and
right.
it's people come in looking for food and they get mad because they always come here looking for something to eat.
Right.
Well, what are we here for?
Right.
Exactly.
You know.
For the people to be fed
Right.
mentally,
Exactly.
spiritually, and physically.
Right. And,
yeah.
and like you said, a lot of people judge people for, well, homosexuality or this one. It's like, okay, why do you weigh that sin so much heavier
Exactly.
than this
Than
one?
any other
Right.
sin.
Right.
And not only that,
Sin
I
is
think God
sin.
has
Yeah.
a sense of
Sin
humor.
is sin.
I
I
really
know he
believe
made
God
me.
has a
I know that. I know he laughed every day when I wake up like, oh, that little joker's still here. So I know he does, but I'm sorry, you
Okay.
were saying what, though?
I'm just saying, you know, I believe God has a sense of humor because I believe that he has instilled talent and
Oh, yeah.
gifts and abilities into some people that the church actually want to shun,
Right.
but they can't shun on too much because they use and abuse their talent, skills, and ability.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think we need to talk a little bit about that when we come back. But we're going to take a break real quick.
Yep, because I need to keep my job. So we're going to be right back. But you know what? If you want to contact Doni, you can always contact her at
Doni Jones Live. That's DONI Jones, JONES Live at gmail.com. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, this is your girl, Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. Don's Tree Service has been serving the metro Atlanta area for almost 20 years. I'm a certified arborist, and we are fully licensed and insured. Call us at 770-413-TREE. We give free estimates, and we don't charge extra for cleanup. Don's Tree Service, that's 770-413-TREE, or visit us online at donstree.com.
So the reason we went with Don's Tree Service is we needed a couple things done at our house. We needed some trimming of some trees done, but then we also had this old, big, beautiful tree in our backyard that was, our deck was built around this tree, and it was just getting old and limbs were starting to fall, and we just knew eventually it was either going to land on the house or we needed to have it taken down. So we called around and got a few quotes, and then we met with Don's Tree Service, and they were awesome, and we ended up going with them, and I can't say enough about their work. They came in with their crane and got the tree down, and it looks great. I would definitely use them again.
Hey, got a comment about the show? Or would you like to just be a guest? Send us an email at DoniJonesLive@gmail.com. Now, back to more Doni Jones Live with Doni and Mardy.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. I am your host, Doni Jones, hanging out with my main man,
the Honorable Monta. Yeah, I'm just
Didn't
Mardy.
you use honorable last week?
Okay, because I don't want to say bishop because that tells a whole different thing.
I'm not
a bishop. That's why I don't say that.
Oh, I was getting
But
ready.
I'm not Nick. I am Mardy. And you know what's funny with titles? I do not go by pastor or anything like that. I am really Mardy. Now, people may refer to me.
At church you do refer to yourself.
I don't. They do.
Okay, I got what
you know. It's a difference. If you ask me who
What's
I am,
on your driver's
I
license?
just like I'm Mardy. I'm Minister
Your birth
Mardy,
certificate.
head do boy, whatever.
Yeah.
But you can call me pastor all day. It's just one of those things. I like to stay humble.
Well, stay humble, and let's talk to our guest, Cint Gilstrap.
Because I wanted to ask her about something. Because unlike some people, I actually tune into her little prayer call in thing. You know, and it be on fire and stuff. You know, but she caught me off guard because she'd be into it and start.
Call your name.
No, she'll call out numbers and stuff, and it caught me off guard at first. I thought she was doing bingo. You know, because she'd be like, "And the Lord said this and 4, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8." You know, I know I see you right there. I'm like, bingo. I was on mute a few times. So I was like, but it was cool though.
Yeah,
but you know,
absolutely.
I wanted to say, how long have you been doing that, and what
made you start doing it?
Testament Tuesday is actually something that God gave me about 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he told me then, as I was coming out of the divorce, that it was time for me to expand my ministry. And I said, well, how am I expand? Because God always told me that I was going to be a global. You held global, you know, everybody
He told me the same thing.
You know, global. Right.
Mine was going to be global a different reason, though. But
That's called America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, right. I was going to make it big, mama.
Go ahead, Cint. I'm sorry.
You're fine. And so I thought about it, and I didn't want to be commercialized.
Right.
I said, God, I don't want to be like everybody else. I want you to make a difference in this ministry. What is it exactly that you want me to do? Tell me what you want me to do.
Right.
Because I don't want to rehearse. I don't want it a sermon. I don't want everybody to always call, and it's always just constant prayer. Tell me what you want to do. He said, do a prophetic line. I said, a prophetic call. That's what we're going to do? He said, yeah. I said, okay.
Well, all right.
Okay.
So God gave me the vision.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Not me neither.
God gave
me
me. He gave me the unction to do it. One day I said, let's do it. Let's go for it. We're gonna do it on Tuesday. I'm gonna call it Testament Tuesday, 8:30. 30 minutes, this is what we're going to do. How you going to do it? I'm just going to be obedient to the Spirit of God, and I just let God have his way. I never rehearse.
That is awesome.
I never rehearse it. I'm just on live.
Whenever
God needs me.
We don't rehearse stuff either, but see, I'm happy
whatever God
see,
tell me
y'all
to
think
do.
I make stuff up, but that's how she does it, and I actually tuned
I
in to
actually
listen
do.
to.
You look at me like
Right.
I didn't believe
I didn't believe myself.
And it's phenomenal because people call now, like I have people call from Africa, so we on different time zones. They calling from London. It's amazing when people come on call like that. I'm like, are they seriously on the call?
So do you have to translate or something like that when they're calling from other countries?
I don't.
It
haven't got that in depth yet.
Okay.
To where I have
it's
to,
coming.
But right now,
I'm telling you, it's coming. Yes. You have a global, like
awesome.
you say, you have a global pulpit, but that doesn't mean you're in a building.
Exactly.
That means your word is going to go out globally.
So now, if somebody wanted to be a part of that, how would they become a part of that if they wanted to tap in on Tuesdays?
Yes, and how do they get in contact with you?
Yeah. I have I have a conference call line, so it's 404-891-6566, and I did it that way because they separated calls for some reason, like Sprint and Verizon, and then so everybody had all these call numbers. I said, you know what, let me utilize one number. Okay. And I made it easy for everybody, so they can call me 404-891-6566 every Tuesday at 8:30, and they can chime in, or either they can go on Facebook. All the information is there at Cint Gilstrap.
You be on Facebook.
Do you take offering after that somehow or another?
Only if God lead me to. If God lead me to, I'll do Cash App or I'll do PayPal. So it's just
God is leading people to PayPal. I love it.
It works too.
Yeah,
it does.
It works.
Yeah.
Plant the seed, y'all. Plant the seed.
I know last year when I did like a offering of things, I did it for the homeless because I do homeless and I do a project every year called Project Cover Up, where I actually go out in the community once a year and I do blankets, I do scarves, hats.
Awesome.
I feed, but this year I want to feed, and I'm doing it on December the 15th. So during that time, people wanted to make a donation from different states, so they definitely sold. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. I had,
but you also
I had 200.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say give that number again because some people might, because you kind of said it real quick, but give that number again. And what time are they supposed to call in?
Okay, Testament Tuesday. You can call every Tuesday.
Okay.
Usually, I would say get on the call about 8:25.
Right.
I go live at 8:30 directly.
This is Central Time.
This is Eastern Standard Time. So it is.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm not good with that.
Yeah. So it's 8:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Now
every Tuesday.
I want to talk a little bit about your book.
Absolutely.
Because that you are a powerhouse woman, and the other reason why your story is so powerful is because of what you've overcome. And you wrote about that. Can you talk to us a little bit about your book and what's in your book? And I know it's part of your testimony.
Yeah. I've had someone to call me that actually read my book because it's an easy read. And they literally have read the book about 10 times. Wow. And they said every time they read the book, they get a different revelation or a different part of their deliverance or an emotional feeling that comes forth from the book. So basically what God did was took my brokenness, took me being shattered, took me being abused, took all my innocence and gave me a story called Stolen.
Yeah.
The reason why, me never having the ability to be a virgin as a child or as a teenager or even as an adult because I was abused at the age of 5. Yeah. So I was molested by a family member and my innocence was stolen. And from that point, I went through a number of just domino things emotionally, physically, financially, verbally, dealing with broken relationships and all types of things. But one thing that I share a lot of the painful things that I experienced, like being dragged through graveyards, being gagged, being handcuffed to trees, handcuffed to beds, thrown in the trunks, blindfold. So, I remember waking up one morning that I was, on one day that I was literally tied to a tree and handcuffs as a child. And I could hear the sound of animals. I did not know what it was, and it was a stench and a smell. But it ended up being, I was tied next to a hog pen.
Oh my
and
goodness.
So the stench and the smell and the aroma as a child, and just the devastation of going through all of those tormenting thoughts and just dealing with a lot of issues. But one main thing that I had to deal with was that if you tell anybody, I'll kill your mom. Yeah. At that point, I had to do everything in my ability to protect my mom.
Well, there's still guys and girls, like we talked about, still having that kind of power over young girls and young women. At some point, it broke, and you did tell your story.
Yeah.
Can you lead us through what happened to where you said, enough, no more, I'm changing? Or not so much you're changing, because you didn't do anything wrong. You were abused. But to where you said, actually, we're going to take a break. And I want to kind of get into what happened that made the shift.
Okay.
And how that shift happened.
Okay.
So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Cint Gilstrap.
You're listening to Donnie Jones on the Donnie Jones Live Show.
Yes, we'll be right back. Hey, this is your girl, Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. Don's Tree Service has been serving the metro Atlanta area for almost 20 years. I'm a certified arborist, and we are fully licensed and insured. Call us at 770-413-TREE. We give free estimates, and we don't charge extra for cleanup. Don's Tree Service, that's 770-413-TREE, or visit us online at donstree.com.
So the reason we went with Don's Tree Service is we needed a couple things done at our house. We needed some trimming of some trees done, but then we also had this old, big, beautiful tree in our backyard that our deck was built around this tree, and it was just getting old and limbs were starting to fall, and we just knew eventually it was either going to land on the house or we needed to have it taken down. So we called around and got a few quotes, and then we met with Don's Tree Service, and they were awesome, and we ended up going with them, and I can't say enough about their work. They came in with their crane and got the tree down, and it looks great. I would definitely use them again.
Hey, got a comment about the show? Or would you like to just be a guest? Send us an email at DonnieJonesLive@gmail.com. Now, back to more Donnie Jones Live with Donnie and Mardy.
Hello, we are back. I am your host, Donnie Jones, hanging out with
Mardy, that man, Ringa.
Yes.
That is I, yes.
Yes, and we have an incomparable Cint Gilstrap. And before we went to break, we were going into your story and where the break happened, where you said, okay, no more. I'm telling my story, and my mess is now my message. Where was that at?
Actually, growing up, like I said, I dealt with so many emotional scars and wounds and things of that nature. But I think my ultimate decision to bring forth a change was when I was looking at a .45 caliber gun with a hollow point bullet in the chamber.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go anywhere. From that point, I made a decision. Lord, if you get me out of this, if you make a way for me to escape, then I'll change my life.
Wow.
It was at that point, that day, that I said something had to change.
Yeah.
The very person that actually molested me, I had to confront that person, and I said, you no longer have control over my life. I forgive you.
Glory be to God.
I had to forgive in order to release myself.
Right.
I had to forgive in order to heal. I had to forgive in order to be restored. I had to forgive in order to live.
Yes.
And live with a right mind, with a sound mind, and with a mind of peace. That it wasn't based or predicated on that individual, but it was all about me.
It's all
about
you.
me.
Exactly.
And I had to say that because I realized he had control over me.
That's right.
And as long as I gave him power, then he would always possess it.
That's right.
But God told me to let go and release it.
Let go and
and that's the day
and,
that
and
I
people
decided
don't understand
to do
that.
it.
Let go and let God.
Yeah.
You got to release it.
You have to.
And I bring that up because I will say this. I get a lot of flack, and I'm still getting a lot of flack from people in my family because I tell the truth.
Right.
Like I talk about the child molestation.
Right.
I talk about being sexually abused.
Right.
I talk about the illegitimate children in our family who are still struggling with stuff at 40 years old.
Right.
But people want to keep it like this. And part of the issue with being a victim of domestic violence, sexual violence, is part of your brain is going, what will people think? You know,
that kills a lot of people.
Just
it kills
let it go.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's easy for us, and I was just telling my one of my spiritual daughters, it's easy for us to say, let go.
Yeah.
But it's hard for some people to do.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how, literally.
Yeah.
And in their mind, they're fighting an inward battle.
Yeah.
And if they can only make that decision and that choice. When I tell you everything starts with a decision and with a choice.
Oh, preach.
I mean, we would be free because you realize I don't have to worry about what people say.
Yeah.
They don't have a heaven or hell to put me in.
That's right.
And if the Son has made me free, then I know that I'm free
I am
indeed.
free
And when the Spirit of the Lord is, I realize I'm liberated in myself,
Yeah.
not based on the opinions of people, but within myself.
But then let me ask you a question, because I hear this all the time where they just say, well, you can just get up and just leave. Just make a difference, change, and it's not that.
It's not that simple.
It's not that simple.
So I'm saying, what is a tangible? Okay, if you're a woman that's in a marriage, or in a sense that is very horrible, but you don't have the money, you don't have the family, you don't have that structure that I can just leave, and you got 2 or 3 kids too.
Right.
What do you do in that kind of situation?
Prepare
Because
yourself.
It's easy for the church people to say. It's easy for us to say, pray about it.
Yeah, it's easy, but it's not.
Right.
But I think that's what we have to get to the point, though. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Even when you finally get the strength to do it,
exactly,
it's still not easy. It's still not easy.
No,
with my mom, she could have left my dad so many times. We begged her to leave the abusive relationship. What eventually happened, though, is this dude go find another woman. So guess what? She was still by herself.
Right.
She still had to scrimp and figure out a way to get ahead and figure out living with family members and stuff. Whereas she could have did that same thing when we were kids.
Right.
Instead, it happened 30 years later.
Right.
And I'm looking at her now being a depressed woman trying to come out of that when she could have fought that battle 30 years ago and been delivered, as opposed to being delivered at 60-something years old. So it's not easy. At whatever stage it is, it's not easy.
Yeah.
One thing I've realized is there's definitely a difference in the age group, or the age difference, and meaning just the history of things. Back then, they were having 10, 15, 20, 30 children, and they stayed even if the man stepped out because they felt like they didn't have a job, they were undereducated, they felt like they were inexperienced, and they had to stay. And just because he was the breadwinner of the family. We're living in a different day and time now.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It's a completely different day.
Right.
You may deal with, go through the abusive portion of it, but if you prepare yourself, it's all about a decision and preparation. One thing you have to realize, that even if you're not the financial support system of your household, come up with a strategy and a plan. And God gave me how to go from pain to power.
Ooh,
and we got to
good.
learn how to transition our mindset first, because I'm an advocate of transitioning your mind. You can do whatever your mind tell you.
That's
and
right.
if you believe it, if your mind and your heart get on one accord, then your body has to follow.
Preach.
And that's the most important thing. But learning how to strategize the plan, you have to get smart with the devil. You've got to learn how, even in a time of adversity, I'm not going to let my left hand know what my right hand is doing. My life is in danger, and it's very well could be my kids' life are in danger.
Right.
So what I have to do now is come up with a plan and a strategy. This is the first thing I need to do. I need to get my credit in order, because a lot of women that deal with financial situations, they have allowed their credit to go bad. That's just the truth.
That's the
so
truth.
let me repair my
That's
credit.
the truth.
Now,
That's true.
you know what I'm saying? So now let me go find a job, or go start researching a home, or do something that's going to transition me into that place. So one day he come home, I'm gone. You can have everything, because over here I'm already prepared myself.
I agree. And I agree.
And I'll say to just pray for people like that, because sometimes those situations are so much more difficult.
Right.
Because as soon as they see, that man sees that, oh, you're about to try to leave me.
Right.
I'm going to make it even harder
It takes
on
privacy.
you.
It takes. You can't let him know anything.
And
when I say you got to go through the normal routine,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I just had. Listen, I just had. Listen to this.
I'm gonna be honest. She need to just get the heck up out of there.
She do, but she's not
go.
gonna do that. A lot of women will not do it. Listen to me. I stayed in my situation for about 10 years, and every time he hit me, I've always said, I'm going to leave this time. 10 years I did that. From a teenager to a young adult. 10 years until it came to the point.
35,
you understand
40,
what I'm saying? So you have to literally make a conscious decision and effort that you got to change. You can't let him know anything. I just had a domestic violence program not too long ago. And one of the women that was on the panel, she is married. And in a domestic situation. So she was very afraid because she's still in it.
Right. But it comes back. But here's where. But this is where I guess, this is why I'm so excited why you're here. But it also gives me the opportunity to question. I have always been the type of person that believes if you're in a jacked up situation, just get the heck up out of here. People go, well, you don't know what it's like to have a man hit you, which I don't. as an adult, but as a child, I do. And when my dad hit me for the very last time when I threatened to kill him. Mm-hmm. I told him I was 16 years old, actually 15 years old. He put his hands on me again, okay? And I'd already told him from the time I was 11 years old, 12 years old, I was like, you put your hands on me again, I'm going to kill you, okay? He did it again, and I was 16 years old, and I don't know what changed, but it was something in me that changed.
Your fear broke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my fear broke. I looked at him.
You broke your fear.
I said, if you put your hands on me again, I will kill you.
On that note,
you broke your fear.
I'm going to ask you to we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to ask you to breathe, because I can see that energy and everything. We got to pay some bills. You get some water or some coffee, okay?
I'm going to kill you, man.
Right. Just move side. We'll be back with some more Donnie Jones, the boxer.
Exactly. Hey, he didn't hit me again.
Right.
I'll tell you.
Right. That was the end. It was over. Right. That's it. When you have
we'll
that
be right back. Yeah.
Because fear keeps you paralyzed.
Yeah. Hey, this is your girl, Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. Don's Tree Service has been serving the metro Atlanta area for almost 20 years. I'm a certified arborist, and we are fully licensed and insured. Call us at 770-413-TREE. We give free estimates, and we don't charge extra for cleanup. Don's Tree Service, that's 770-413-TREE, or visit us online at donstree.com.
So the reason we went with Don's Tree Service is we needed a couple things done at our house. We needed some trimming of some trees done, but then we also had this old, big, beautiful tree in our backyard that was, our deck was built around this tree, and it was just getting old and limbs were starting to fall, and we just knew eventually it was either going to land on the house or we needed to have it taken down. So we called around and got a few quotes, and then we met with Don's Tree Service, and they were awesome, and we ended up going with them, and I can't say enough about their work. They came in with their crane and got the tree down, and it looks great. I would definitely use them again.
Hey, got a comment about the show? Or would you like to just be a guest? Send us an email at DonnieJonesLive@gmail.com. Now, back to more Donnie Jones Live with Doni and Mardy.
We are back. I am your host, Donnie Jones. You're listening to Donnie Jones Live, and I'm hanging out with
Mardy Ringer, yes, and we're with the beautiful, honorable Cint.
I thought you was getting ready to say sexy.
Where are y'all mind?
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Right.
You was there earlier.
Right.
I thought that was a different show. Sorry, different show. Well, hello, Miss Cint. How are you doing? We're into the hot topic section
right now.
Right. This
he
is our
got a camera.
Oh my God!
Don't check a wine. Now you're tuned into the Holy Ghost hour.
Where we are laying hands.
Well, we are laying hands. Do you tell your girlfriends, about sexual aspects of wait before marriage or after?
Now that you've been delivered.
Now that you've been delivered, just wondering.
In 9 more months, you'll be delivered.
Right, and if not, we can keep practicing. So, anyway, so tell us about your wonderful book.
What you're doing.
Well, we started earlier talking about the book. The book is actually my story. So, I don't know. I need everybody to buy it.
Yes.
That's
what I'm saying.
How much is it?
Just get to the point.
This is the first phase of the book. So I'm coming out with a stolen one. I'm also working on 2 additional books. Wounded at the Altar, my experience in church from start to finish and where I'm at today. And then this book, this is so wonderful. This book is so wonderful. It's $20.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can find me on Facebook, and you can Cash App. Also, I do PayPal, and it's $20. But Cint Gilstrap at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
And spell that for them.
You can find it. Which one?
Cint, because so they'll know how to.
Yeah, because I wouldn't spell it right.
You wouldn't? As in Charlie, I as in Indian, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, Gil, 1L, Strap at Facebook or Instagram or Twitter.
Yes.
See, I would have studied CENT. It's the Cint. I would have. That's what I was saying.
It's a powerful
if that don't spell Cint, what it spells.
It's overwhelming. It's a tearjerker. It's everything that you need to do.
Then she don't forget. We on radio. Right. She doing side commercials, people. Okay, for the listening audience, yeah, Cynthia is over here doing a side interview. She's forgetting that we on radio. And she just, right. She just went in on,
let's bring this
on back over here. Yeah, she just been celebrity on us.
No, you just said something, and with Mardy being a pastor, and you being a pastor.
You forget that too. And Mardy.
I'm not a pastor, but I'm very spiritual,
right?
And I love the Lord. You said something about doing church different. How does that look in your world right now? Because we talk about that a lot on our show.
Oh yeah. And I want to do church so much different. I want to have a actual.
You got a stripper pole in your church.
Yeah, and I want to have a cash bar, in the church too. So during church, if you want to drink, go ahead and do it. You want communion early.
There you go.
Go ahead and get yours in. Don't be no hypocrite outside and act like you don't drink when you come inside. We trying to work it out.
I've been ordained as a pastor. I actually walk in fivefold ministry, but God has been really pressing me about a building. But my thing about a building is I don't want to do church as normal. Right. I don't want to do what's the normal entity of praise and worship. I want the church, the building. I don't even want it to be called a church.
Right.
I want it to be called a filling station to become to be refueled and regenerated. You don't have to be a member here,
right?
But you can come and get whatever you need here.
And that whole member thing for me is a whole nother. Yeah, I can't do it anymore.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's so many different aspects. It's so many different aspects of that because I've talked to so many pastors or ministers that they try to build a community of worshipers, but they don't feel like you're legit until you have a building.
I know.
And they're like, well, we'll support you. We'll come to your Bible study on Wednesday, but to really be a part of your movement, you need a building. And then with the membership thing, it's kind of like, are you a part of this family or not?
Right.
Now you don't have to be a member. You don't, you can, but if I am basing this church on the longevity of next year, in a sense, I need to kind of know how many people are going to be here because I got to pay the light bill. I got to pay the mortgage. I got to pay this. And if you're going to buy in, if you're going to come to McDonald's every week and get a sandwich, you got to pay for it.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
So
and I'm with that.
But
can we keep it real about that, though?
Can be real. If y'all want to do some drink parties, we can work something out. If y'all want to smoke some weed on Wednesday night after Bible study, well, we can do
smoke some weed.
Y'all said do some things differently, right? I'm just saying. If y'all want,
we're not gonna do that.
I just want to have a smoke
We're
party.
not doing that.
Bible and a blunt. What's wrong with that? I'm just saying.
We're not doing.
They have wine in the Bible too.
We're not doing Bible and a blunt. We're not.
Why y'all pick and choosing that? First sin is sin. Now it's different now, huh?
We are not doing Bible and a blunt. We're not doing that. We are not doing Bible.
I bet you have a lot of brothers in the hood that will come. You put some beer out there and a blunt, they will open up a Bible all day.
But you know what? We might want to think about.
We are not doing Bible and a blunt.
We getting ready to get taken off the
mixed up. You bring down the wall, you would have kids, you have millennials, you have old folks.
Look.
The ladies that like my arthritis hit this, and they will come. I'm telling you, y'all think I'm playing. Bible and a blunt.
Right. They will.
No, I'm saying, but if you think about it, I know I'm saying it in a joking way, but they'll have Bible at Spiff's Old Bar. They'll have Bible. They'll have church services. A church does it right now. They have it on Thursday nights down at Smith's Old Bar. People gravitate to that. You want to do church differently. We keep trying to clean people before they get to the church. No, come to the church.
But here's my thing. Why are we trying to clean people? Let God do the work.
Exactly.
It was
God.
God.
We just need to get in there.
Don't come with a blunt in your hand. Y'all trying to judge people.
Wait a minute. We're not. Right. That's what we don't want to do.
I'm just saying.
You can come smelling like a blunt. You can come smelling. Before you get out the car, but we don't want to provide. We don't want to provide it.
It's bring your own stuff. No.
Because
you know how much the prices are nowadays? No, church can't afford that.
With needles.
Exactly. It's okay. Just come on.
Just come as you are.
You say come as you are, right, and bring extra.
I
I feel like we're supposed to be going somewhere else.
Y'all say y'all want to do church differently. I throw out some suggestions.
I'm thinking Cint needs to be talking at this moment.
Yeah.
We got 3 more minutes to hear from the woman of God.
Most of the people that call in on her show. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead. Amen.
We're going to have you come back.
Oh my God. Okay, look.
That is crazy. Let's have Cint talk right now.
I bet you get more on your cash app. So, how about 5 on it? Just saying.
Oh
bet
my
your
God.
ministry grow.
Oh my God.
Speaking of growing.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
It'll grow from that point, huh?
It'll grow.
Oh my goodness.
You'll be memorable.
Cint, how do we get in contact with you again?
Yes.
I have no idea what we were
Oh my
talking
God,
about
he is hilarious.
Isn't he awesome though?
How do we get in
He
contact
used
with
to be
you?
behind
How do we
the
get in contact with you?
Yeah.
But anyway.
You can actually find me on Facebook. I'm Cint Gilstrap on Facebook. I'm Cint Gilstrap Ministries on Facebook. I'm CGM_Ministries on Twitter. And I'm Prophetess Cint Gilstrap on Instagram. Also, those of you that desire to come on Testament Tuesday, every Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 404-891-6566. You can also find me at CintGilstrapMinistries.com.
Right. You can find me driving around the Don's Tree service stuff, doing some specialized blunt and Bible services, for this weekend only.
Me just doing Don's Tree service. You can reach us at Donnie Jones Live, DoniJones Live, LIVE @gmail.com. That's Donnie Jones Live @gmail.com. We love y'all. I'm telling you.
Love you.
Absolutely. Cint, you gotta come back.
I
hang out
will
with us
come
again.
back. It's been an amazing show. It's been an amazing show. Me and the pastor. Me and the pastor.
On the night he was betrayed, he rolled the blood. No. Anyway, let us go. We will see you
and
next
we're going to be giving some free, we forgot about this, but we're going to hit us up on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we are going to be giving away some of her products.
Her book, T-shirts.
Her book, T-shirts,
Right.
something. Y'all, you need to hook up with this lady. We appreciate you joining us. Once again, I'm Donnie Jones hanging out with
Mardy Ringer.
Yes, and we are the Donnie Jones Live Show. Yeah.
Bye.
Hey, this is your girl, Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. Don's Tree Service has been serving the metro Atlanta area for almost 20 years. I'm a certified arborist, and we are fully licensed and insured. Call us at 770-413-TREE. We give free estimates, and we don't charge extra for cleanup. Don's Tree Service, that's 770-413-TREE, or visit us online at donstree.com.
So the reason we went with Don's Tree Service is we needed a couple things done at our house. We needed some trimming of some trees done, but then we also had this old, big, beautiful tree in our backyard that was, our deck was built around this tree, and it was just getting old and limbs were starting to fall, and we just knew eventually it was either going to land on the house or we needed to have it taken down. So we called around and got a few quotes, and then we met with Don's Tree Service, and they were awesome, and we ended up going with them, and I can't say enough about their work. They came in with their crane and got the tree down, and it looks great. I would definitely use them again.